Final game of the Albion's Premier League 2 regular season, and a fine run of form has ensured they already have a playoff place confirmed to extend their campaign. The visitors, Aston Villa, don't have that luxury, but 3 massive games in hand on those around them mean that things are still very much in their control as they cling on to the 16th and final spot. For the Albion then, a stern and competitive warm-up for the post-season, and for the Villains, an opportunity to get there themselves this Good Friday evening in Sussex. Well, good evening and welcome along to Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aston Villa in the Premier League 2 on My Albion TV. I'm your commentator, Matt Drabble. It's been a wet and windy Good Friday here on the South Coast, but the pristine surface here at the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre has held up well. Before we get any further, we'll have a look at the lineups for both sides. And we'll start with the Albion, who make 3 changes from that mightily impressive 5-0 thrashing of Everton last time out in the Premier League 2. Harry Howell and Freddie Simmons, both involved with England at youth level, make way from the squad altogether. And Callum Mackley drops to the bench, so coming in and Noel Atom, Jesse Middleton and Joe Belmont, who in a rich vein of form leads the line. Stephen Hall's in goal. The back 4 will be Tasker, Barkley, Atom and Keogh. Holding down the midfield is Josh Robertson and Jesse Middleton. Then Nt, Oriola and Silsby will sit just behind Joe Belmont, who spearheads the attack. Aston Villa are also coming off a dramatic victory of their own. That came versus Leicester City late on in the 100th minute of play. They make 4 changes from that game, in large part due to their own youngsters being away with youth international sides. So goalkeeper Sam Proctor is out. So are Ashton McWilliams, Theodore Carroll and top scorer Bradley Burrows. In come James Wright, Leon Ruth, Teddy Bloomfield and Mason Kocher. So it's Wright in goal. They've played a back 4 and a back 3 this year, Villa, but if it's a back 4, it will be Burgess, Bloomfield, Mosquera and Ruth. Deeper in midfield are Hemmings and Kone, with Mully, Brannigan and Lynch behind Kocher up top. The referee for this evening's game is Sonny Singh Gill. He is to be assisted by Adrian Tranter and Ryan Whittaker, with Christopher Myatt, the 4th official between the 2 managers. Well, here we go then for Brighton and Hove Albion, the sweet bliss and reassurance of a playoff place confirmed for Aston Villa. They will be peering nervously at those behind them, holding down that 16th and final spot, knowing many seek to knock them from that perch. We are underway in the cloudy Sussex Downs, and the ball is pinged out to the left-hand side early on, but headed away by Charlie Tasker. Hassling and harrying Villa backward. Back is Woody Burgess, takes a touch around pressure and looks into the left-hand channel, where off and running was Bloomfield. Albion will have a throw for Tasker to take, quickly held back to Barkley. The overage player in this Albion squads. For Tasker to open up, has had some experience with the first team across pre-season and training with the first team throughout the campaign. Charlie Tasker, around the building a long time now, this Albion under-21 side. Barkley, 2 with Robertson. Oh, Atom. Middleton. He looks forwards. The feet of Nt, and Tasker just has to put his boot through it. Far too much on it for anyone in blue and white. Interesting to see the approach the Albion take. You imagine there'll be a few that will be trying to keep themselves
just do a quick sound check.
More free from injury, even more so than normal, given their
Whichever one this is.
That impressive run of
Alright, yeah, top way, yeah.
Yeah.
Forward by goalkeeper James Wright. Plucked out the sky by the Seagulls. Breaking away. Over them on the left, Luca Lynch. It was he who hit that impressive strike from the edge of the area and curled it home. His last win in this competition. Flicked forward, looking for the run of Lynch. Tasker there to win the first ball. The Albion feed off the scraps in the middle. It'll bounce through toward Mosquera. Can deal with it comfortably. Drifting past the challenger Middleton, still. Villa bringing up that right-hand side with Mully. Squares back across the edge of the 18-yard box. Really should have been turned home. Bounces away as far as Mosquera. Albion will regain their shape. Mosquera. Couldn't start this by Villa. They had a disastrous last season in the Premier League 2 at under-21 level. In stark contrast, the success of their under-18s. Finished rock bottom of the PL2 last year, so really be searching for the route into the playoffs this campaign to put right the wrongs. EO for the Albion standing over the throw. Lynch. Rolled wide by Brannigan. Mully twisting and turning, looking for room. Here comes Lynch in support, but the Albion scamper away. Keogh up the left. And foul in the eyes of the referee. Throw-in goes Villa's way. Stretching beyond Lynch. Tasker. And away comes Tyler Silsby. And Silsby does see the decision go his way. Blue and white shirts can gather forward and around that 18-yard box. Josh Robertson hands over this with Tasker. Looks like it favours Robertson, creative midfielder, to try and curl this one in. Driven flat by Robertson to a good area. In the end, it was Noel Atom that was sliding in. Couldn't make any sort of significant contact. Lovely delivery, just laced it flat and hard, awkward for the defenders to deal with. Sailing just above their heads, but just beyond the stretch of Noel Atom at the back post as well. Been an open start to this game. Good long by James Wright. Hove can take over with the throw, 19-year-old Irishman. The pipeline of Irish talent the Albion have managed to secure over the last few seasons. Long line of them developed here on the south coast. Tasker drops the shoulder, tries to roll it in behind for Belmont. This came the challenge. Barkley can settle it back down for the Seagulls. Now Villa come out and press. Can the Albion deal with it? Found space for Silsby, brilliantly done. Whipped across the face of goal. No one in blue and white arriving in time. Well, he can clear away, but Keogh got a touch, and the Albion are fighting to keep it in that final third. Belmont on the hunt. It's Middleton now, pulling the trigger. It's a well-hit shot. Good save initially, well with the rebound land. The Albion are looking to the referee. They were following in that fierce drive from Jesse Middleton. Smart stop by Wright. He then did well to smother the second attempt. Tasker, Barkley. Good spell this for the home side. Up nicely for Jesse Middleton to hit that. It was Shane and T that was attempting to follow in, and it popped back up in the air. James Wright fell at his feet, the two collided. Paddy Gill says play on. Silsby starting to find some space. Tasker, Silsby, Robertson, flipped toward the back post, dealt with by George Hemmings. Middleton, played in 6 competitions this season, Jesse Middleton, the Albion youth ranks. Too strong for Maya Oriola. Albion playing with freedom and confidence, that you'd expect. Pressure not on them. They're packed very deep and very solid for the moment. The outlet for the Albion always seems to be Silsby on this right. This time it sails over his head. The Albion front four, if you will, Silsby and T, Oriola, just behind Belmont, the number 9, have been in really fine fettle of late, and their form has coincided synchronously with the Albion's impressive form in the Premier League too. 4 of the last 6, drawing 1, losing 1. Came after a pretty difficult run for the Seagulls under-21s in all competitions. Started this game very brightly and won it high again. Villa escape. The claret and blue shirts are on the charge. Mully right wing, Lynch in support at the edge. That's where it goes, spinning, shooting, and it deflects towards Stephen Hall. Grateful to see the power taken out that strike. It clips off the heels of Noel Atom. It's the sort of area Lynch loves to operate into.
Luca, you got to stop the supply to the fullback, Luca. Luca, should be in line with the centre back and the fullback, in line. Okay, no, stay there, pull out.
They're showing the threat they possess on the counter-attack.
Luca, stop the supply to the fullback. Now you can press him if you want. You can press him if you want.
Tasker. Silsby, lovely first time pass into the channel, which Belmont will chase. Back to Silsby. Just about gets there in time to find Tasker. There's a swiftness about the Albion in attack in this first half. Oriola, Keogh, blue and white shirts to aim for. They're queuing up at the edge of the box. It's touched towards goal. And T's in there. Saved again by Wright at his near post. And thumped away by Woody Burgess in the end. Nifty touch running across the front of the goalkeeper. Right at point blank range, kept it out. Ball could have landed anywhere. Ollie Tasker. Theo has been bright in that left back position. Arsenal will take off. Silsby now. Swung across the face of goal. This one lands straight into the arms of Wright, who's been busy in the opening 14 minutes of this game. Player that has first team experience, went with the first team in Unai Emery to the USA a couple of summers ago, also went out on loan in Spain to Real Union. He picked up 30 appearances across the campaign. Different sort of test for him today. They give away a free kick.
Start to edge. Good. Go on, Jess.
Pitch. Hassled and harried by Middleton, but he's managed to escape, and then he's sandwiched from both sides. A combination of Robertson and Middleton. Lovely turn with the outside of his boot to drag it away initially. Not really sure Belmont has to make that challenge. Lynch is running straight into Ben Barkley. Rather needlessly gives away the free kick. Run it again here with his number 11. Leon Ruth goes home. Something for Trey Mully to chase. Up the line and out of play. Mohamed Kone. Noel Atom. Stephen Hall. Started now 6 Premier League 2 games in a row, the Australian goalkeeper. First starts in this competition since November. Barkley guided into that left wing, but too much on it for Maya Oriola. Still out of play. Albion immediately set up their defensive shape before James Wright can even scoop the ball up to distribute it.
Ready tight, get ready tight. Yes, side. Catch up, catch up, catch up.
On from Wright. Before the boots of Silsby could get there, Barkley heads forward. Looking in. Here's Maya Oriola, throws a step over at his man and hooks it towards the back post, but it Lands on the roof of the net via a deflection.
Perfect, Shano.
Always looks to take on his man, Maya Oriola. 3 in his last 2 for the Albion. Fortunate that one just took a nick on its way behind. It will be an Albion corner kick though.
Jess, can you take him in? Can you go penalty spot?
So Charlie Tasker over it.
Be ready, Maya. Get across the front. This is going to dip right in front of the goalie. Time in!
Again, it's lofted in these swirling winds towards the back post. Barkley challenging for it. Heads it back across goal. Loose ball seized upon by Robertson, but then given away to Lynch. He left the ball behind for a moment, but can now accelerate past Robertson. And I think we might see an early entry into the book. Had 2 nibbles there. Josh Robertson didn't bring him down with the first, and came back at Luca Lynch with the second. Just a warning, it seems, for now.
Start to edge if you want time, start to edge. Go on inside, go on in, go on in, go on in. Yes, Tyler!
Free header won by Barkley. Belmont, haven't said his name too much at the start of this game. Number 9 for the Albion. Silsby holding it up in the final third.
I have to do it, Joe! Joe, I have to! Go, Joe! Get in for him, Joe. Go on side, go on side! Lock on, lock on! George Span!
Right.
Yes, Maya, get 6! Go, go, go! Well done! Go, go, go!
Brannigan trying to skip down the line, manages to win Villa a throw. Deceptively cold on the south coast today. Blame Cole Brannigan for sporting the gloves. He tries to escape the challenge of Keogh. Sunny week on the south coast, but none of that today. Torrential rain. It's the build up to this game. Here's Tasker. Hemmings. Break away and sees the throw. Tasker. In a way, rather cheaply, and Kone will take advantage. Here's Bloomfield. Lynch bundled over by Ben Barkley. And the free kick does go Villa's way. He's been the subject of a few forceful challenges already, Luca Lynch. Barkley's intention is only for the ball, but did steam through Luca Lynch as he threw that step over at him. It's going to be a Villa free kick. This near side, Brannigan over it. Recently signed a new deal with the club. Albion's defensive line pretty deep. Too much of a corridor for Brannigan to sneak this into, but he will do his very best. Width low across the face of goal. Swing and a miss. Now fired forward.
Lock it in! Lock it in! Go Shay! Lock him in! All the way!
They're going to have a throw very deep inside their own half, and in the end it's turned into a very good clearance upfield for the Albion. Under some pressure, they've got right out. Kone. Free kick goes against Shane and T.
side, stay there, their side. Yes, yes. Good, start to edge fire, start to edge fire. Nice, Leon.
Sweeping up from one goalkeeper to another.
Good.
Woody Burgess. Ruth. Linfield stretching. Lynch. Tripped again. This time by Belmont. Starting to shrug and plead his case to the referee, Luca Lynch. He's been fouled virtually every time he's picked up the ball. Leon Ruth, 18-year-old, goes across the back line to Woody Burgess. No room for Mosquera to clear upfield.
Doing a good job, mate. Well done.
Mosquera.
Good side. Let's tie to a point side. Good shot.
Burgess. 1-2, but a lovely sliding challenge by Maya Oriola. It was then brought down by Woody Burgess. Goes into the book. Drag that back within his grasp, Maya Oriola. As Villa looked to escape upfield. The chance was on for the Albion, and Burgess left little choice but to bring him down. So the Albion have a free kick, and we've got the day's first yellow card. Rogers joining us on My Albion TV. There's been chances in this game. It's been wide open for most of it, but the score still Albion 0, Villains 0. Rin Lansing, Tasker to change that perhaps with this set piece. Won't do it like that. Sailing straight into touch. Well, one to forget for Charlie Tasker. I said it's been a windy day on the south coast. I'm sure that's what he'll be saying to his teammates right about now.
Good, Joe. Ready to go, Joe. Good, Joe. Good, Joe. Go.
Right.
Top, Joe.
The ball won by T. Hemmings trying to carry away. Been physical, particularly in the middle of the park. Challenges have been flying in. Hemmings managed to evade the slide from Ben Barkley. Then Belmont had a nibble, and the two had a hold of each other. In that sort of game.
Yeah, you're good.
Easy afternoon, or evening rather, for Sunny Singh Gill.
Start to edge. Good side. That's up. Steve, if you need to. Good, J-Mar. Good side. Good, Maya. Go on, you're okay. Good, Maya. Good side. Start to edge. Good. Yes.
Billsby trying to halt Leon Ruth's progress. He's managed to bring it away, the centre-back, and a good cross into the penalty area. Trying to settle it was Mason Kocher. And it all started with Leon Ruth, the centre-back, just powered forward, would not be stopped. He found Cole Brannigan. Early delivery was the key. Albion back line not set. When Cole Brannigan whipped this across the face of goal, Mason Kocher had a real chance. He's barely had a kick in anger, Kocher, in the opening 26 minutes. Got caught between his feet and the chance was gone. Might have another one here, in towards Kocher again. Billsby has to do his bit defensively. Mosquera. Here's Kone.
Good fire. Room to look at. There's a room to look at. Put it tight. Put it tight. Fire. Stop the group.
Albion hold their shape and Villa force backward. Story's been the same for both number 9s really, both Belmont and Kocher. Not been too involved, most of the threat has come from the wings in this game. Awkward this for Hall to deal with. And it held up there. Tasker had to take evasive action, pump it into the stand. Bloomfield. He's ignored that corner flag. Albion want the goal kick, and that they will get. Mentioned Aston Villa's last season at under-21 level. Bit of a disaster. They're a club with a proud academy. Finished rock bottom of the Premier League 2, won just 2 of their 20 games in the league format, conceded 51 goals across them, so already a vast improvement. However, that doesn't paint the full picture for Villa's youngsters, because their under-18s, meanwhile, were winning a treble. A lot of the players of the 21s age group were out on loan or integrated with the first team. Under-18s often a greater litmus test for the success of a club's academy, and it couldn't have been much more successful for the Midlands club. Wilton lets it run. Collects his own misplaced touch. Hillsby deflects kindly for Tasker, who will see it run out. An Albion corner kick.
Ben, Noel, start closer to the byline.
The blue and white shirts are starting to trickle in and around that 6-yard box. And Robertson assumes the duties here. You can see the havoc the wind is causing just by looking at that corner flag. Stood next to him. Will he conjure from here? It's going to be an in-swinger with the wind very much on his side. Sorting out to do between Noel Atom and Mosquera, being separated by their teammates. Sonny Singil on the scene quickly.
Start where you are, Chaz, and as the hand comes down.
So after some delay, Robertson will get to deliver. Driven in, flat across the face of goal, deflects up to the edge of the 6-yard box, fired through the crowd, and Tasker lashed it goalward but struck his own teammate. It's Belmont that's taken the full force of that. Lovely delivery from Robertson, caused all sorts of problems for Villa. It didn't clear properly. Tasker thought he'd fired the Albion in front, but unfortunately for him and Joe Belmont, his face had other ideas. Hill locked it 0-0. Half an hour gone in this one. That was a clear sight of goal for Charlie Tasker. Good running this from Bloomfield. We'll keep going, Teddy Bloomfield. Now Brannigan. Brannigan. Curled down the line. Roll toward Brannigan again. Pops up in the air. Stephen Hall's had a punch. One on the loose ball. Ruth bringing Villa forward again. Mully around the outside of Keogh, who has pulled him back. Villa will have a free kick. It looks like Keogh is going to be the second man in the book today. So Sean Keogh, who signed for the Albion from Dundalk. He's up a yellow. Villa pick up a free kick in a promising position. Cole Brannigan standing over it. Awkward angled run up. May not be favourite to take this one. Will be Brannigan. It's one from the training ground. Lynch from distance. Something for Hall to deal with, but it's off the heads of Kocher and beyond the stretch of Ruth, who was arriving. Have space for Luca Lynch. Change the angle for him to clip it in behind. Kocher made contact, and Ruth thought he might have had a chance for a moment, but too much on the header. Flicked on by Mason Kocher.
Lock in! Lock in! Go on, Joe! All the way, Joe! All the way, Shano! Double press! Go, Maya!
Konek bringing Villa away. He's brought to his knees.
Stay here!
And the Villa free kick. It's at times been bitty. Professional fouls from both sides. The team's making progress.
Good, Tyler! Good, Tyler! Good, Tyler! Yes, yes, yes! Put it tight! Put it tight!
Burgess. Mosquera. Mosquera again. I didn't think the throw should have gone their way. Not on this occasion.
Brilliant, Tyler. No, you tight, no one here tight. Go. Tarsky, you can tell him there. Tight, there's no one on your toe. Let's go. Joe, come on, Joe. Joe Belmont, right, Joe through. Yes, Joe. Yes, Joe.
Joe Belmont.
Tight, Sean.
The charge to press.
Good, Bobo.
This ball easily won by Keogh, backwards to Stephen Hall, has to clear in a hurry. Bouncing through toward James Wright. Just feels that the pendulum of momentum in this game has started to swing in Villa's favour. No doubt in the Albion had the better of the ball and the chances in the opening 15 minutes. Now is the away side Aston Villa very much growing into it. Hemmings checks his run, running into a bit of a blind alley. Free kick coming to his aid there, not a foul that Tasker needed to give away. Hemmings pinned in by three blue and white shirts. And once more, Villa will line up, set piece in an attacking position. Graham Mully across to take. 2 assists to his name this season in the PL2. Short again to Lynch. Trying to take Silsby into the penalty area. Gets to the byline. Silsby recovers brilliantly. Not stopped running today. Tyler Silsby, whether going forward or defensively. Be a Villa corner.
I'm diagonal. I'm not the straight line.
Brought by Mully. Lynch. And Mully again. This time it is in the penalty area. Powerful header away. Ruth has to chase this back under pressure from Maya Oriola. Oh no.
Might be you, Joe. Good, Joe. Go, Maya.
Ruth.
Go.
Burgess home to James Wright.
Go tight. Really tight.
Scare up. Clear up the line, because Tyler Silsby was there again. On the Albion as an under-13, Silsby has shown real promise, rising through the ranks. Representing England up to under-16 level. Making himself a nuisance so far this evening as we tick towards half-time. Still though, deadlocked at 0-0. Clear-cut chances, few and far between. Half chances, plentiful. Oh.
Leon, get him on his swing. Leon, yeah, if he swings.
Barkley starting to saunter out from the back. Oscar. Silsby off the mark. T puts his boot in. Belmont trying to hold it up and escapes with it, Joe Belmont. Brannigan dropping deep to try and link play for the away side. Hasn't been a great deal of space. Mully might have found some here. Runners ahead of Mully. Lynch and support in the middle. Instead it's switched wide. Bloomfield lofted in towards the back post. It's a big header from Noel Atom. One fights to keep it alive. Ruth. Tasker makes the interception. Maybe the Albion can counter with Charlie Tasker, the captain for the evening. Belmont keeps it rolling, and now space for Silsby. What can he do with it? Cut back across the face of goal. It was the wrong pass, the wrong decision. Really opened up there for Tyler Silsby. And the way he's been playing in this first half, you would have thought he would have had a run goalwards, tried to commit a few defenders. In the end, it was a misplaced cutback, and the chance is gone. Lynch. Down in the centre circle. Villa keep it moving. Been an energy and an intensity about this game, no doubt about that.
Over here, Ty. Yes, Ty. Try and lock it in this way. Go on, Tasker. Be ready, Joe. Be ready, Joe. Okay, not yet, there. Bring it. Joe Belmont.
One.
Yes, Joe.
Room to roam. Which goes down, rather Brannigan it is. It was tripped on that occasion. Well, Brannigan fouled and Villa back underway.
You're ready, Joe. Go on, Tasker. Go on. Good, that's us. Yes, tight, yes.
Lynch can't lose the attentions of Middleton. And the Albion bring it away. It's a well-struck effort by Robertson, but Wright had everything behind it. Had options there, Josh Robertson, left and right. Tried to catch out James Wright. Named easily by Villa's number 1.
Win the race!
Robertson. Keogh.
Let's go! 3 minutes, let's go! Switch on! Go on, Tasker, get him going. Get him going again, Ben, get him going. You ready, Jess? Well done, Jesse.
Long wait for Villa. Get us back underway. Table is very tight. Villa have played 16, most teams have played 19. They do have the advantage of those 3 games in hand, but they'll need to perform well in all 3 of those, really, such as the intensity and the desire to sneak into the top 16 in the PL2. I have thought they would have run into a Brighton team on the beach. It's not been the case. Albion performing well.
Good time. Yes, Tasker, in here, Tasker. Good.
James Wright. George Hemmings. Recently away with England under-19s. George Hemmings was, of course, playing with Harry Howell of the Albion. From James Wright. Loose ball settled by Ben Barkley. Just a couple of minutes to go till half-time. Only thing the game is missing, the goal at the moment. It's been a thoroughly watchable first half. Aston. Barkley. Wide to Tasker. At Silsby's feet. Beautifully curled in behind. And now then, NT, the wrong side of the Villa back line, swings one in the penalty area. It's missed by Belmont. Seized upon by Oriola. Middleton. Barkley. Too much on that for Keogh. Villa throw. Are pinned in deep here, Villa. Be grateful to get to half-time. The score's still deadlocked. Giving it away. Chance here for Silsby, perhaps. Trying to lift one over right. It was an inventive effort. Reached up and grabbed it, the English goalkeeper.
Stay there tight, stay there tight. Go on, edge tight, edge. Edge fire, good, edge fire.
One added minute coming up at the end of this one. Right, we'll just roll this to the edge of the D. Looping one long. Lynch the target. Barkley came out of position, and that might have opened up some space, because running through was Mason Kocher, and it skips beyond him. Albion clear up to Maya Oriola. Still running left in his legs. It's tripped, which will likely be the final action of the first half. And Sonny St Gill does put the whistle to his lips and brings it to a close. Half-time here in Lancing. It is Brighton Hove Albion 0, Aston Villa 0.
That's right, but me and Jan spoke with the competition, so it started, so.
I didn't really know what actually sparked it. No one looking at someone. Well, I was looking straight at it, definitely. Not a chance I was going to be right before for that.
Welcome back to second half coverage of Brighton and Hove Albion under-21s versus Aston Villa under-21s in the Premier League 2. No goals in the first half, plenty of action in and around both penalty areas though. Two sides launching plenty of good-looking balls into the boxes in these swirling winds in Lancing. There was no way through. Less important for Brighton and Hove Albion to find a go-ahead goal in this second half for Aston Villa. They will most definitely need to go hunting for that as the clock ticks away from them. No sign yet of any changes at the break. We'll keep you updated on those as and when we get the chance. Busiest man out there, arguably Sonny Gill, the referee, in that first 45. Plenty of heels clipped and studs raked as the two sides broke down each other's attacking threat, and some cynical fouls. What does the second half have in store for us? It's a game that swung back and forth. The Albion started the better. A couple of half chances in front of James Wright in goal, but Villa grew into it, and when they managed to get the likes of Cole Brannigan, Luca Lynch and Trey Mully in space on the ball, they caused the Seagulls problems. I'll be hoping for more of that in the second 45. The Albion to get the second half underway. And away we go. Final 45 minutes in the regular season for the Seagulls before that playoff campaign begins. Ben Barkley on it at the back. Reminds you of the two lineups when we get the chance. The Albion, Stephen Hall in goal. The back line, Tasker, Atom, Barkley and Keogh. Here is Keogh in midfield. Middleton and Robertson, the two deep-lying midfielders, with Silsby and T and Oriola behind the Welsh Youth International Belmont up top. There's an old Atom. Across to Barkley. Villa put the pressure on with Lynch, and Barkley goes behind it. Forward, looking for Silsby, intercepted for Villa. And looks like it started as a back three. Wright's in goal, then it's Burgess and Mosquera with Ruth as the three centre-backs. Mully and Bloomfield then play the role of wing-backs with Kone and Hemmings in midfield. Brannigan and Lynch playing just off Kocher, who leads the line. Theo, Maya Oriola. Albion will have the throw.
Come out. Noel!
Theo, Maya Oriola, beautiful use of his body to shift beyond Mully, and here comes Maya Oriola for the Seagulls, pulls the trigger across the face of goal, and it drifts wide. No one was there to get a crucial touch. I think Maya Oriola was shooting from the angle. Still offered a half chance for someone to tap it into the back post, full of confidence as he broke into the penalty area, and in fact it's taken a nick. It's a block from Woody Burgess. It's beams off his heel, which has carried it away. Not spotted by the officiating team. There weren't great appeals from Maya Oriola. Brannigan. Brannigan starting to shift into gear. The through ball, not the necessary angle. Barkley puts Hall under a bit of pressure.
Let's go, Tyler, let's go.
Garrett. Lynch.
Jesse, tight. Yes, sure.
Gray Mully going around the outside of Keogh. Keogh holds his ground well. Still Mully dangles the ball in front of him to flex up in front of goal. Missed by Robertson and struck by George Hemmings. As always, bouncing wide. That's real sight of goal to the second half. Barkley won the first header. Robertson missed his. That allowed Hemmings to put his laces through it. And he couldn't arrow it towards the bottom corner. Immediately Mully sees his back upon it for Villa. Decision has gone the Villains' way.
No, it's up where he challenged. They'll be all the way up there. It's where he challenged.
Ruth.
No, he started here with the
Mascara.
He was miles back.
Yes, Maya.
Ruth can open out. Well-measured ball for Mully to chase, but in the end it does just bounce out of play. Albion will be pinned very deep. And takes the long walk over to scoop this up. There's been a great deal of killer instinct from either side. It's just missing that moment of quality or the sloppy error, as old a cliche as it is. But he needs to crank this game open.
Land on it, land on it.
Now to bounce at the edge of the Albion penalty area. Lynch takes advantage. Tasker sweeps up. And T. That's not going to reach Tyler Silsby. Going down the line, peeling off is Kocher. Mason Kocher looking for a claret and blue shirt. Might find one in the form of Mully.
Yes, Ma, yes, Ma.
Eventually the Albion get enough numbers across to snuff him out. Middleton. It was Robertson that was back defending to steal it away from Mully as he shaped to shoot. Tips wide. Silsby straight offside. Ball into him. Aston.
Yes, Sean, yes, Sean. Yes, Sean. Yes, yes,
Putting some pressure on here. They're just about evading it. So a combination of Ruth and Cole Brannigan. Here's Ruth again. Mascara allows Villa to win the throw. Villa, of course, without Bradley Burrows, that will play its part. Top scorer for them with 9 in the PL2, and he's just recently signed a new contract. Also netted 5 in 4 FA Youth Cup games, often captains Villa at this level. Youth international, but they've tied down his long-term future, which will go a long way. He's already made his Premier League debut. And hold to take. Hold forward, Maya Oriola. Divine touch in field. Given away though by Belmont, and it's popped up kindly. Kocher across goal. Atom can see it behind. Offside flag up against Mason Kocher anyway, in the end. Nicely worked by Villa. Seized upon the ball in midfield after Maya Oriola's initially wonderful touch. Broke down though for the Seagulls, and Villa took advantage, worked it quickly out to Kocher, who had strayed offside, starting us around slightly too early. Play their way out. Get that one wrong. Straight into touch. Off the boots of Robertson. So Villa will take over possession. 10 minutes into the second half, still waiting for the first clear-cut chance. Lynch. Unable to wriggle free.
Stay in, work the line, stay in the well. Stay here. Stay here.
Thrown down the line by Tasker. Albion will gain a few extra yards. Shannon Ruth speaking after the Everton victory was praising the Albion's principles in that game and how closely they align with those of the first team, and Fabian Hertzler, how they've been able to integrate that style. So when players go and train with the first team, they're able to make that transition seamlessly, and then when they come back again, there is not another readjustment for them to suffer. But a lot of Albion first team involvement recently from 21s. Howell, Tasker, Oriola, Simmons all regularly training with Hertzler's side. Tasker starting to motor forward from right back. Silsby. Pressure on Mosquera. Lynch backing in. The Albion can bring it down around the halfway line. Kone takes over for Aston Villa. A footwork this, as Bloomfield brings it up the left. Middleton. Into the path of Keogh. Often running is Oriola, but the ball from Sean Keogh, not the desired weight to release Oriola up the left-hand side. Lynch, Kone, beyond Tasker, and now just running at Ben Barkley. And Aston Villa smell a chance. Kone looking to strike, Barkley stuck with him every step of the way. Old Brannigan, Kone, Lynch looking for room, Mully crosses, and Tasker can nod it behind. Opened up there for Mohamed Kone. The loose ball fell to Lynch, who tried to wriggle free in the penalty area. Mully's cross sailed beyond everyone, and Tasker could steer it away before it reached Teddy Bloomfield. And a corner kick.
Come on, guys! On your toe! Get your man early! Ready, Steve, ready, Ben! Front post, Jess!
Wind on their side. Villa deliver the in-swinger. Back post. Ruth was looking for room.
Good.
Sails behind for a goal kick.
Give yourself some room. Go low for me. Steve, wait, go. Change the minute. Go low, Via. Noel, your side. Change here. Here. Noel side.
Albion going to play through the Villa press. It's Keogh. Intensity of Villa's work off the ball, just stepping up in this second half and holds under pressure. Right back with the villains. They're all over the Albion. Teeing up Lynch, curled over the top. Well, the shot at the end rather let down the brilliant work defensively that Villa showed to force the Albion into giving them the ball right back. Well, delight the away side. On the hour mark, was still deadlocked. Here was the shot from Lynch. The man you'd want in that position. Caught under the ball, not much backlift, had to dig it out and digs it over the top. Villa on the charge again, and the Albion hassled and hurried into a poor clearance. Let's take the throw. And T. Robertson to Barkley. Now here's Tasker. Silsby. Looking for the return for Tasker. Getting too much on it. James Wright could take the goal kick. Can expect to see subs around the hour mark, and that is what's going to happen in this one. Zane Alvarez is going to come on, and he replaces Josh Robertson in midfield. It's a like-for-like switch for the Albion. Zane Alvarez on. Josh Robertson departs. It is just a 7th appearance of the season for Alvarez, after the 13 he made last season for the 21s. Had a spell out with injury. Back in the Albion's midfield for this one. Tasker bringing the Albion up the right. Here's Silsby. Much on that for Alvarez. Laid off by Kocher. Cole Brannigan tries to keep it moving. Areola makes a brilliant challenge. Stop Mully getting away. Always seems like both sides just one killer pass away from getting in. No one has possessed the quality to find that pass so far this evening. Silsby. The build up in the first 2/3 excellent from both teams. The final third times has left something to be desired. Maybe that can change here. Oriola. Keogh, early delivery, fantastic area, and Belmont threw himself at it. The chance he's been waiting for, Belmont had precious little to feed off this evening. Keogh's delivery, curling, whipping towards that back post, and Belmont was just a touch away. Not an easy finish by any stretch of the imagination. It bounced up wickedly off the surface to an awkward height. And survive. The only competition that Albion are still fighting in. They've been knocked out of the Premier League Cup and Premier League International Cup. They're still playing in the Sussex Senior Cup, and their semi-final date has been confirmed. The Seagulls, 29th of April, 7:30. Hove Road, after beating Bognor Regis in the quarters 4-1 to reach that stage. Mully. Done brilliantly. And he's into the penalty area, Mully. And it's pulled back for an earlier free kick. Albion hearts in mouths. They thought that might have been given as a penalty, but the foul occurred far earlier in the move. Together with just a free kick. It was brilliant running again. Step over to lose Alvarez. So shifty in the way in which he changes direction. Alvarez had a nibble there, and a hold of his left arm, and is why Sonny St Gill has awarded Villa the free kick.
Stay narrow!
Mully and Cole Brannigan over it.
Gino, be ready! Be ready, Gino! Stephen, be ready on target.
In from Mully. Clearance by Maya Oriola. He's made amends here. Still he drives on. It's brilliant. And the ball to release Silsby was not.
Yes, Jesse. Good for front. Go down, Jesse.
Flipped over the top and through to Stephen Hall. We've just seen the one change in the managers so far. I wonder if more will follow. Ben Barkley. Just ever present this season, Ben Barkley. It's the Albion's 20th and final league game. He's played in 16 of those. It's a unique role, offering on the pitch tutelage to the younger players. Middleton back to Barkley. Middleton again. Flipped forward. Bounces awkwardly for Burgess. Keogh. And T loses out. And away comes Kone. Breaking challenges. Handled over, and the free kick has gone Villa's way. Middleton will go into the book. He's pleading innocence, Jesse Middleton. I have to say, it did look like he'd got a stud on the ball, perhaps, as Kone was bursting forward. Get a better look at it here. Came from behind Kone, and it does look like he gets a fair old chunk of the ball. Might be controversy if Villa gets something from this. Discussion is taking place. Mully's in there, Cole Brannigan in there, and Luca Lynch in there. Looks like Lynch may pull rank here after his late heroics last time out in the Premier League 2 for Villa. Mully over it with intent as well. It's quite a distance on the free kick, but it does favour a shot, such as its central location. Will be Lynch to hit one. He's curled it round the wall and had Stephen Hall wandering. Really intelligent free kick by Luca Lynch. He used the wall as a shield to block Stephen Hall's view. And Hall had to make sure and tip that round the post. I think it was likely going wide anyway, but Hall didn't know that. And he seeded a Villa corner. Taken short again. That has been a theme for Villa in this game. Crossed in towards Hall, who's rather flapped at it. Middleton follows up with a clearance, and the Albion will have a throw deep inside their own half. Delivery came in from this left-hand side, and Hall wasn't really sure. Beated it down to the turf. Tasker. Given right back to Aston Villa and Mully. And that one sails way over the top. I think that's still travelling. Off the boot of Trey Mully. Popped up nicely for him and required the half volley. Didn't require that. Silsby applying some pressure. Ruth. James Wright now. Not had a great deal to do in this second half, James Wright. Loops long. Kocher nods it on. And will settle for the throw. Here. Hurling one forward. Alvarez. Here come the Albion with Tasker, the skipper, Silsby. Left short by that ball forward. Hennings was caught late by Alvarez. He isn't moving brilliantly. Ready himself to play that forward to Lynch. Always wants to run at the Seagulls. Alvarez had a hold of him. Villa free kick.
Make sure we don't get too deep, okay? The well back. Can we quite a little bit? Not too deep, not too deep.
Lynch is down. Be a break in play. And a live wire. Luca Lynch. His 8th appearance of the season for Villa in the Premier League 2. And he's signalling that he might not be able to continue here. He's going to have to make way, and that is a shame. Young man that won the game for Villa in the 100th minute of play last time out. He's not going to see out the 90 minutes this time. Players from both sides can come across to receive treatment. And receive some fluids. Maybe some instructions from the two managers, who will want just that little bit more as we continue to trickle towards this 0-0 draw. Albion do have options on the bench. Hayden West forward. Make a difference. It's always a strange first game at under 21 level coming out off the international break, and it was a hugely successful international break for the Albion. They had that unique distinction of having a player in every England setup from under 18s to seniors after Jason Steele's call up by Thomas Tuchel. It was James Beadle and Jack Hinchelwood with the 21s, Tommy Watson, who scored twice for the under 20s, Harry Howell was promoted from the under 18s to the under 19s, and Freddie Simmons was with the under 18s. So 18s, 19s, 20s, 21s and the senior side, there was someone from Brighton and Hove Albion in every setup. What a testament that is to the success of this club over the last decade and more. Luca Lynch is going to make way for Aston Villa. His race is run and took a fair old beating tonight, Luca Lynch. Perhaps he feels as though he can continue, so not initially as perceived. Are back underway for a long wait. James Wright. Effort applauded by Teddy Bloomfield, the left wing back. Albion have got the throw. Dana Ruth spoke a lot in the week about momentum, going into the playoffs with momentum as Lynch enters the field of play again. Now he's proud of the side and the way they've responded, because before this recent run of 4 and 6, it was a difficult spell for the Albion's under-21s. One of their previous 9 in the Premier League too. This recent upturn in form. Silsby. Chase down Wright, all under pressure, but can see that sail into his chest. Oh, Belmont lays it off. Held wide. Keogh has to wait for it to drop and charges into Cole Brannigan. Bounces fortuitously back to Cole Brannigan. He's given it away as luck runs out. And here comes Silsby. Bit of space for Tyler Silsby and the Seagulls. Looking for shooting room and whipped it towards that top corner. Always seemed to be fading away. Said it's slightly too far wide, Tyler Silsby. Had been playing on the right wing, switched out to this left to cut in on his right foot. See the type of finish he was going for. Not enough whip and spin on the ball, but set it just too far outside that post. Come back in and trouble James Wright. James Wright not quite judging the strength of the wind, but is continuing to swirl around the south coast. It has been unrelenting today. And it carried his goal kick all the way into touch up the other end. Villa are going to make a triple change. Meanwhile, try and break the deadlock here. So 3 changes for Villa. the first sees George Hemmings make way. And Alfie Linsky come on. We're also going to see Cole Brannigan make way and Ashton McWilliams come on as well. Luca Lynch, the other player, to depart. Three new faces on for Villa. Rowan goes Villa's way on the right. Well down the line. Fresh legs for Villa, 3 of them. Like Ashton McWilliams is going to take his place as a right wing back, and Alfie Linsky joining in the midfield.
Joining now, gents, yeah.
Legs, energy.
And the Albion are going to make a couple of changes of their own in response. We are going to see Adam Brett and Aidan West for the Seagulls. Making way is going to be Jesse Middleton. First of all, he comes off. West is on. So West and Brett on for the Albion. Heading to the Seagulls ranks. Maya Oriola. Like, and T has dropped slightly deeper in the Albion shape as well. Yeah. West in field. Away comes Kone for Villa. 10 minutes for the 3 Villa subs and the 2 Albion ones to try and make an impact. Zane Alvarez turning away. For Adam Brett. I think it's Middleton and Belmont that have departed. So West out on this left wing. Brett just behind the striker, which is now Tyler Silsby. McWilliams. Mully. Wonderful challenge that by Alvarez. West has space ahead of him on the left wing. Didn't fancy taking on McWilliams. Goes Villa's way. We're running by Jack McGrath, third of those Villa subs to come on. 17-year-old Scotsman who's going to take the free kick himself. So, late on, chance for Villa to deliver from the left. Bending for the Albion to do. from McGrath. Blicked on and across goal. No one there to take advantage. Danger gone. Will the Albion. I have to say, it's been put into a good area. The runner's just slightly behind that flick on, which was well measured from Kone. The Villa side that have been inconsistent this season. Got back-to-back wins coming into this game, but without a win in 3 before that, which part explains their mid-table standing in the PL2. Is Silsby. Last one challenge. And out to Maya Oriola. Maya Oriola shaping to shoot, does shoot. Claret and blue shirts in the way. Final block made by Alfie Linsky. Atom now. Here's John Keogh. Rolled over the top. Tasker. Theo. West. With the challenge of McWilliams. Forward from James Wright. Atom lets it bounce. This could prove costly because Mully's got a bit of room. Gotcha. Across the face of goals. Striking was Linsky. McGrath now. Eventually slid away by Atom. Slow it down again. Tyler Silsby. Mully can bring it away. Standing up, Alvarez dragged across goal. West's touch on the chest is good. Silsby is fouled by Kone. That injury to Luca Lynch can anticipate a hefty dosage of added time. Volleyed forward awkwardly by Wright. Sails over Atom's head. Atom tried to sneak that away and Mully was lurking. Got away with one a bit there on Atom. German youth international, spent time at Hamburg and Leipzig, signing for the Seagulls. And a bit of a blind pass by the big centre-back. Mully read his intentions, ran off his right shoulder and almost took advantage. There's another switch for Villa. And the race of Maitchison Kocher is run. He is departing. Marky Mead is on in his place. Every outfield player on that Villa bench has now entered the fray. Marky Mead, the last to do so, up top. Scored yet this season in the Premier League 2 is Mead. Promotion from the under-18s. Big sliding challenge comes in from Alvarez.
Switching the ball.
Barkley, Aston backwards. Stephen Hall in 2 and T, coolly done by the Seagulls. Now is there space in behind? Nodded away for Tasker to take the throw. Last few knockings of normal time. West. Brett ahead of him. Maya Oriola to his right, instead looks to curl one left to Silsby. And Silsby can break forward for the Seagulls. Blocked away. And T. Oriola. Rolled into the penalty area. Is there a match winner for either of these two sides? They're going to take this game by the scruff of the neck. 90th minute of play now. Slip from Keogh. Silsby tried his best to keep it in play. Unable to do so just below us. Ruth.
What's behind me? In Tasker.
Barkley's looking long. Wrestling for it is T. Straight up in the air. McWilliams tries to bring it down. Kone helps it on. Silsby can carry the other way, but the referee has stopped play. It's immediately obvious as to why. The referee has brought this one to a pause. 4 added minutes at the end of this one. There's going to be a booking in there as well. Linsky. Promising situation for the Albion. Pulled back for a free kick, and Ruth is going to see red. Now, I can only imagine that is for an off-the-ball incident that we haven't spotted. There was nervous murmurs coming from the Villa bench, and the referee has taken his time, collected his thoughts, and sent off Villa centre-back Leon Ruth right as we tick into stoppage time. No, Ruth walks for the Villains. That is why play was brought back, and the Albion will now stand over this free kick. That's a big loss. He's been a colossus today. Leon Ruth, the 18-year-old. And an early bath for him. Villa will have to hold out in stoppage time with just 10. Not immediately obvious in real time what that was issued for, but Sunny Singh Gill had seen something and he gave a yellow to Linsky and a straight red to Ruth. Been a feisty, niggly game with challenges flying in. Maybe there was a boot left in. Albion throw. In fact, no, it will go Villa's way. 2 minutes left to play. Aston will scoop it up. Time perhaps for a couple of trips forward for the Seagulls deep in stoppage time. And T. Barkley. Tasker now. Racing forward. There should be some space for the Seagulls to operate in. Maya Oriola. Tasker on the overlap. Has support. Looking for a T. And it trickles behind.
Playing to 96, 1 minute 20 stoppage. Playing to 96.
Last minute of stoppage time.
3 minutes. Keep going. Come on. Come on.
Right to take. Might have a bit extra added on because of that red card.
Good, well done.
Not the first time that James Wright has managed to send his goal kick all the way through to Stephen Hall in this second half. Tasker. Brett.
Higher, Sean, higher.
Good kick.
I need you higher.
Take the 40 out, Sean.
To the channel. All the way through to James Wright, who will scoop this up for Aston Villa. 94 have been played. Roll to the feet of Wright. Villa want the full-time whistle. Stephen Hall collects. Atom. Scooped forwards. Free kick will go the Albion's way. A pull back on Atom. Still we play on in Lansing. Maybe time yet. Tasker. Barkley. 10 men shuffle from side to side, trying to keep the Albion at bay. Silsby now, whipped into the penalty area, headed away. Here's MT, looking for help. Keogh couldn't find Silsby. Wins it at the second attempt, but via a foul. And the free kick goes Villa's way. So James Wright to send it forward with what might be the final kick. Up in the air, out of play. Albion throw. And that will do it. It's all over, and we end as we started at Lansing. A competitive game, no goals, a red card at the end for a kick out from Leon Ruth, and it finishes here. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Aston Villa 0.
All the best.